Hello students, welcome to the first session of chapter 6 Square and Square Roots. Students, you have heard of the word square and roots also. But square root means you have never heard of this word together, right? So in this chapter we will learn about square of numbers and square roots of perfect square numbers. So let's start with first session.
Students, let's start with first session of chapter 6, Square and Square Roots. In this chapter, we will discuss about introduction of the concept, properties of square numbers, some more interesting patterns, finding the square of a number, square root of decimal numbers, and estimation of square root. Out of these first two topics, introduction of the concept and properties of square numbers, we will discuss in this first session. Introduction of the concept, square and square roots. Students, you must have played chess, or at least you must have seen a chessboard. You have observed that chessboard has square patterns and there are 8 rows and 8 columns in a chessboard. So total number of squares, if we want to count of equal size, then it will be 8 into 8, that is 64 squares. Another example is planting trees on a square lawn. Suppose if we have 225 plants on a square lawn, then we use the concept of squares, that 225 plants can be planted at the intersection points of 15 rows and 15 columns, because 15 into 15 is equal to 225. Another example is, you all must have observed the tiles in your room or in your house. Squares are used in flooring, tiles and rugs. Area of tiles, area of rugs and area of floors is measured in square units. You have already done how to calculate the area of a square figure. Right? There we are writing a unit of area of a square as square units, that is square meter or square centimeter or square feet and so on. So in order to find the number of tiles, suppose if it is of size 10 centimeter, which is required to cover the floor of a room, which is in size 5 feet by 5 feet, then we will use the concept of square roots for the same. So can you calculate the number of tiles in your room, and accordingly can you calculate the length and width of your room? So if we want to calculate the same, then we have to use the concept of square and square roots. So once you will understand the concept, then you will be able to calculate the number of tiles as well as length and width of the room. So let's start with the concept of squares. When a number is multiplied by itself, we get the square of the number. Students, you must have observed when we are writing the tables, in each table we multiply the number by itself. Say 1 ones are 1, 2 twos are 4, 3 threes are 9, 4 fours are 16, 5 fives are 25 and so on. So here we are multiplying the number by itself. So whatever the product we are getting, say 1, 4, 9, 25 and so on. So that product is called the square of the number. So a number n is a perfect square if n is equal to m square and m can be any integer. Here, this is very important that m can be any integer, because the example I gave all were positive numbers. But you know that -1 into -1 is 1. Same way, -2 into -2 is also 4. -3 into -3 is also 9. 3 3s are 9, as well as -3 into -3 is also 9. So here the number which we are multiplying by itself, it can be a positive number, or it can be a negative number, or it can be 0. So here m can be any integer. So here you can see the example, 4 into 4 is equal to 4 square. This is how we write the square. 4 with the power 2 is equal to 16. And so 16 is called square of 4. 11 into 11 is equal to 11 square is equal to 121. So 121 is square of number 11. So for any number, or say any integer a into a is equal to a square. So power of a is 2, and this is read as square of a. So this we will read as 4 square, or we can also call it as square of 4. This also we can read it as a square or square of a. Here in this table you can observe, suppose for the number 1, if we multiply number 1 with itself, that is 1 into 1, then is equal to 1 square, and the final answer is 1. So square of 1 is 1, or we can read it as 1 square is equal to 1. Same for number 2, 2 into 2 is equal to 2 square, and 2 square is equal to 4. Same, 3 into 3 is equal to 3 square is equal to 9. Then 4 into 4 is equal to 4 square is equal to 16. And for any integer n into n is equal to n square is equal to m. Here instead of m, you can take any variable. I have chosen m. So m is called a perfect square of number n. Let's observe the table of square numbers. Here we have numbers 1 to 10 and square of those numbers. So square of 1 is 1, 2 is 4, 3 is 9, 4 is 16, 5 is 25, 6 square is equal to 36, 7 square is equal to 49, 8 square is equal to 64, 9 square is equal to 81, 10 square is equal to 100. Same for numbers from 11 to 20, we have 11 square is equal to 121, 12 square is equal to 144, 13 square is equal to 169, 14 square is equal to 196, 15 square is equal to 225, 16 square is equal to 256, 17 square is equal to 289, 18 square is equal to 324, 19 square is equal to 361, and 20 square is equal to 400. One more for the number from 21 to 30. 21 square is equal to 441, 22 square is equal to 484, 23 square is equal to 529, 24 square is equal to 576, 25 square is equal to 625, 26 square is equal to 676, 27 square is equal to 729, 28 square is equal to 784, 29 square is equal to 841, and 30 square is equal to 900. So students, this table, you have it in your textbook, and you have to write this table in the notebook and you have to learn the squares from number 1 to 30. Okay, because this is very important when you have to do the calculations. Now we will study about the different properties. First property, a number that has 2, 3, 7 or 8 in its unit place is never a perfect square. That is, no number ends in 2, 3, 7 or 8. So suppose if you are given some number which has 2 or 3 or 7 or 8 on its unit place, then you can say that this number is not a perfect square. And the number which are having digits other than this on its unit place is always a perfect square. So other digits other than this 2, 3, 7 or 8 will be 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9. So the numbers which are having 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 on its unit place is always a perfect square. Here in this table you can observe that these are the numbers and these are the squares of the given numbers where the digits are 1, 4, here we have 5, here we have 6, here we have 9 in 49 and here we have 0 in 100. So if a number has this digits on its unit place, that is 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9, then this number is always a perfect square. And the number which is having the digits 2, 3, 7 or 8, it cannot be ever a perfect square. So this is the first property. Second property, suppose if a number has 1 or 9 on its unit place, then its square ends in 1. Ends in 1 means it always will have 1 on its unit place. Here observe the numbers. 1 square is 1. Square of 9 is 81, which has again 1 on its unit place. Square of 11 is 121, which again has 1 on its unit place. 19 square is 361, again with 1 on its unit place. And square of 21 is 441, which again has 1 on its unit place. Students, here I have taken only 5 examples, but you can check the result for any other numbers which has 1 or 9 on its unit place, and you will observe that the square of those numbers will always have 1 on its unit place. So this is the second property. Third property, if a number has 4 or 6 on its unit place, then its square always ends in 6. That means the square of such numbers will always have 6 on its unit place. Observe the numbers over here. 4 square is 16, 6 square is 36, 14 square is 196, 16 square is 256, and 24 square is 576. So all these numbers have either 4 or 6 on its unit place, and their squares, all of them have 6 on its unit place. So this is the third property. Fourth property, the number of zeros at the end of a perfect square is always even. So if you are given any number which has zeros, then if the number of zeros at the end of a number they are even, then that number can be a perfect square. Here you can observe that 100 has 2 zeros, 10,000 has 4 zeros, then square of 1000 will have 6 zeros, and square of 30,000 will have 8 number of zeros at the end. Here we don't have to consider the number of zeros in between the numbers. Suppose if you have 10100, that is 10,000 and 100, then you have to consider the number of zeros at the end. You will not consider the number of zeros, total number of zeros in the number. Okay, so here you have to consider the number of zeros at the end of a perfect square. there is, here you can see 10 square is 100, 100 square is 10,000, and so on. So here number of zeros at the end all are even. That is 2, 4, 6, and 8. So this is the fourth property. Fifth one, the squares of even numbers are always even numbers, and the squares of odd numbers are always odd numbers. So here you can observe the even numbers, and the square of these even numbers are even. That is, they are having 2, not 2, but 4, 6, or 0 on its unit place. And in case of odd numbers, you will have 9, 5, 9, 1, and so on, such numbers. So here square of 3 is 9. Here 3 is odd and 9 is also odd number. Same way for 5, it is 25, which is again odd number. For 7, square is 49, which is again odd number. 9 is odd, and square of 9, that is 81, which is again odd number. And same for 11. 11 is odd number, and 121 is also odd number. So this is the fifth property. Let's revise all the properties again. First property was a number that has 2, 3, 7, or 8 in its unit place is never a perfect square. That is, no square number ends in 2, 3, 7, or 8. Second property, if a number has 1 or 9 on its unit place, then its square ends in 1. So such square will always have 1 on its unit place. If a number has 4 or 6 on its unit place, then its square ends in 6. Because we know that 4 square is 16 and 6 square is 36. So in both cases, we have 6 on its unit place. So if a number has 4 or 6 on its unit place, then its square ends in 6. Next property, the number of zeros at the end of perfect square is always even, and the number of even numbers are always even numbers, and the squares of odd numbers are always odd numbers. Again, the number of zeros at the end of perfect square is always even. That means if number of zeros are odd, then that number cannot be a perfect square. Then the square of even numbers are always even numbers, and the squares of odd numbers are always odd numbers. So this is all about concept of square and perfect square numbers and the properties of perfect square numbers. So now your homework for today's session is, one thing I have already mentioned, that you have to write the table of all the squares from number 1 to 30 in your notebook, and you will learn all the squares because it is very, very important. And you will also learn all the properties that we have discussed in this session. I hope you have understood all the topic. Please do watch the video again and again till you don't understand the concept, and keep practicing daily for maths. Otherwise, it will be of no use, because maths is a subject of practice. More you will practice, more you will understand, and more you will enjoy solving the sums. So thank you so much for today, and bye everyone. Please take care of yourself.